guys, and welcome back to the Team Fire channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're jumping back into The Sims 4, but what we're going to do is we're going to be learning how to build. Now, I know a lot of people have bought The Sims 4 because it's been on sale, and it's just sort of something to do in like our quarantine kind of time. But the building side of things can be a bit complicated. Your houses can end up looking like a box. It's all a whole thing. So today we're just going to be going over the basics of stuff, and I'll teach you a few little tips and tricks on how to do certain things. So we're jumping into Newcrest because that's our empty world. Now there's two things we could do here. So either you can build a house with unlimited money, and you sort of don't sort of move in a person. So let's say it's this lot here. If I wanted to just build the house, no money limits, no people, literally just house. Click on this little button down here, which is just build. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a nice little starter home with our sim. So we're going to click on this lot over here. I'm going to click on this button down here, create new household to move in. And that's going to take us to create a sim. So we're going to have a lovely little someone called Riley Emery. We're going to randomize her all up. She's going to, whoa, okay. She's going to look like this. Yes, comfy clothes. Oh, I love the hair. Okay, we're going to do that. So we've made our sim. Obviously, you would make your sim here. And then we're going to jump in. So you just click the little tick here, save and play. And then that will take you, or should take you, to the lot. So it takes you to this screen. Could this be the perfect home? Yes. And you'll see that it says there our funds are 18,500, which is generally the amount you start with a starter home. So it will take you to this screen, and it will have a little plumb bob, that's what these things are called, above the lot, and it will have Emery, because obviously we haven't built the lot yet, so it's empty. So we're going to click on that and then click on play. That is going to take us to the lot. Okay, and then it's going to take us to this screen where we've got a big old empty lot. So this button up here is build mode. So we're going to jump into build mode there. And just to make it easier for us to build, we're going to change the time here. That's night time. I'm going to change it to afternoon because that's the brightest time of day, and it sort of means we can see what we're doing. So a lot of times the temptation is just to sort of build a box and that ends up being a house. We're going to try and move away from that. So first of all, you can either press the B button on your keyboard, or you can click on this part of the wall here, and that's going to take us to the build wall tool. We're going to be using this one, the room tool. We're just going to start with, the best way to do it is just start with a little box, maybe around this big, okay? Box. Then you're normally quite good adding, I don't know, let's add a porch. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to move down to this tool down here. It's basically just places a room but without any walls. So we're going to click on that flat square and just pop it right there on the front of the house. There it is. What we're going to do is see these arrows here. These move the sort of shape of the room. So we're just going to drag it back a little bit, make it a bit smaller, about that big, okay? And then we're going to raise the whole house up onto a foundation. So if you see, you can use either one. There's a little tool in the middle of each room. It looks like two arrows with the block. Just going to drag this up, maybe about that much, maybe one more, and then that's going to create our foundation. Then to add stairs, because Sims obviously cannot, just walk, they need stairs to get up, something like that. Down here on the corner, we've got the stairs button. Press that. We're going to pick some nice little stairs for our house. I'm going to pick, let's see, I'm going to pick these wooden ones. No, I'm going to pick these white ones and let's make them a light beech wood, okay? And it's going to sort of bring it up here. Now we're going to need to rotate them to obviously face the same way as the porch. So we're going to use the comma key and the full stop key to rotate. We're going to use there we go. And then that'll put sort of our thing here. So there's basically two things we can do here. So either we can place it out like this, and then that creates this extra step. If you use the move button, then we can actually drag it forward one so that the stairs just connect to the porch. Okay, so we're going to use that, and then we're going to drag it across using these arrows, all three. So now we've got steps going across all three of our porch sides. Next, we're going to add some fences onto that porch. We're going to go to the fences tool here. We're going to select a fence that we want. I'm going to use this fencing in a beige colour. Now, if you use this button down here, replace fences, that will replace any wall of a room with a fence. So you can use it on these ones as well, but obviously we don't want to do that. Or you can do it here. So we can either place it like that, or we can use the place fences by drawing tool, and then that will draw the fences in as if, you know, it was a wall. Obviously we need some banisters as well. So let's check the banister tool. It's actually called the stair railing tool. Click on that. Pick our banister. Try to sort of pick something that matches your fences is what I would say, because then it sort of gets that nice look there. Just click on the stairs and then that will place that. So that's what we've got so far. We've got a little box with a little porch. Now I'm thinking this porch might be slightly too big, so we're going to click on that, drag it back one, and then that will make it one in, then drag the stairs one in as well. Then that'll make it just that little bit smaller. Now let's say I think, oh, maybe the stairs are slightly too big. I can use the arrow tools again to drag that in, drag it out, whatever. We're actually going to have them sort of like this on one side. We're going to use this tool up here in the toolbar. That's the eyedropper, so that copies and pastes things basically. We're going to click on the fence, wooden horizontal fencing, and we're going to draw one more fence in there. So now we've got this kind of thing going on. Now the house is still a box. That's what we don't want. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create sort of like an indent. So if you hold, so let's go back to the wall tool. So click on that or click on the B on your keyboard and it'll bring this back up. If you hold Control and then drag across some walls, it deletes them. So we're going to delete those walls there. And then using the wall tool, we're going to make this one in. Okay, now we've sort of got like an overhang and an inset door with a bit of wall there. Okay, so that's going to be our front door area. Then what we need to do is this takes you up and down a floor in your room. So it's either page up, page down if you've got those buttons on your keyboard, or if you just fancy not, you can just use these arrows. I just tend to use, you know, my mouse and do it like that. So that's what we've got so far. We've got a tiny little house. But we're actually going to click on this room tool here. And we're going to maybe start from about 3 in this way, make a little bedroom off to the side there. Okay, so we're building off of that original sort of square area. Okay, so we're doing that, and then we're going to do another one, maybe 2 wide and 3 out. We'll do it like that. We're actually going to use the wall tool. We're going to use the custom room tool. So what this means is it sort of lets you draw point to point. So we're going to start on this corner. So we're going to bring that out, same length as the bathroom, about here, maybe around that much there. Bring that in, and then you're going to have to draw along the walls to connect it to your original dot there to place the room. Okay, so now what we've got is we've basically got a kitchen diner, which is in here. We've got our living space, which actually is quite small now that I think about it, a bathroom and a bedroom. We're actually going to extend the house slightly. Here's not the best place to do it because this is only 2 wide. You can't fit that much in 2 wide sort of spaces. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this part of it one smaller, like that. And then this we're going to drag out using those arrows a little bit wider. Now you'll see that our house has gone from a little square box to sort of a more housey kind of looking shape, and that's sort of where we're going to leave that for this sort of style house. We won't add an upstairs, but just in case you wanted to add an upstairs, then the way to do it, is we're going to go to the stairs tool, bring up the stairs where you had before, use this to sort of your commas and your full stops to rotate, have it go, let's say we'd want the stairs, I don't know, let's say we want them curved. What we're actually going to do is we're going to build the stairs like that. Then you've got this sort of square tool with the arrows. We're going to drag that once that way and it gives it that curve. And then we're actually going to rotate it like so, so that it sort of fits in this corner over here. Come up to the top floor, you see your stairs come out there, use the wall tool again, B on the keyboard or clicking on that sort of back wall there, and then you just sort of got to build your walls around again. Now I wouldn't necessarily recommend going over every single wall like that because you'll end up, again, even though it's not a square box shape, it'll end up looking quite boxy. So I'd say maybe go over around, well, think about your roofs. You want to have your roofs be very, very simple. So I would do something like that. So you basically roof that bit, you roof the front bit, and then you've sort of got a bedroom up here and a bathroom maybe. Well, I have a bathroom about there, just a tiny little, toilet sink kind of thing going on. And then, the rest of this can be just a nice little hallway. I don't know that we have the money for that. Do you know what? Let's go with it. Let's say we have the money for it. So what we're going to do, go back downstairs using these arrow tools here. The problem is I put those stairs in a really annoying place. Actually, do you know what? We're going to leave the stairs there. But the stairs are in a weird place. We're going to leave the stairs there. So next we probably want to add some wallpaper to the outside to make it look a bit more like a house. So we're going to go to this sort of pattern down here, wall patterns, and this will bring up the wall patterns menu. We're going to click on, it's sort of organized into what type it is, so you've got your paint, wallpaper, tiles. We're going to go to, let's see, we're going to go to masonry, and then that'll bring up the bricks. We use we can use a white brick. We can test that out. So you've sort of got by wall and by room. So if you use by wall, it places individual, paneling, tile, whatever things, individual panels, I guess. If you use the by room tool, then it covers a whole room in one go. Now, bear in mind, again, it is literally by room, so you see that only covered that part of it. So you're gonna have to sort of go around and just sort of make sure you've covered all the rooms and make sure it's all one colour outside. So that's the sort of colour we're going for. It looks kind of drab actually. Now I don't like that so much. Let's go back to the stairs tool. We'll go back to the stairs we've used. And I don't want that light colour anymore. We can't use the design tool on it. So what we can do, let's say, well, do you know what? Now I've decided I want, I don't know, a dark wooden stair. What we'll do instead is just hover over it like this. You'll sort of see the green squares come up, click, and it will change it. Okay, and then the same thing for the banisters and the fence. What we'll do is to, rather than us go back and in the catalogue and try and find the ones we've used, we'll use the eyedropper tool. Click on the banisters and it'll bring up which ones you've used. It'll highlight in green. Come to this little thing here. It shows you the colours. Pick the colour we want. And again, hover over and it should change. Same thing again. Eyedropper tool onto the fence. It'll bring up the fence we've used. Change the colour. And then for this one, we can actually just redraw over like that. Okay, now we've got different colour fences. I'm going to use this simple siding. So again, all of the rooms like so. And then if I don't want to find it again or whatever, you just use the eyedropper tool again and just use it like that. And that should have covered all of the rooms. All of them? Yeah, all of them. You can zoom in with the mouse wheel as well. And then if you use your right click, then you hold that down and move and you can sort of rotate like that. And if you left click, you can sort of move around like that. Okay, so that's like, I probably should have said that first to be honest. But yeah, so that's that. Then we've got obviously a blank foundation. So if we go to this sort of tool down here, it shows foundations. It'll bring up all the foundations we can use. So the one I want to use, I think would maybe be this one. No, it's not. The Woody, this one. And again, these have different swatches as well. So we're going to pick the one that we feel matches our house the most, or, is the colour that we want. I want to go for a slightly darker foundation. So we're going to use that. And again, it does it by room. So make sure that you've covered all the tiny little bits and that it's all covered. Now we've sort of got an outside, we've got a foundation and all that kind of stuff. Let's roof it before we furnish it. Why I struggle so much. So we're going to do this front part first. So if we click on the roofs here, then for the front, we're going to want sort of like a half gabled roof. So we're going to click on that, and you can sort of see it's very big, but you can see the direction it's going to point in. Comma and front door. Comma and full stop key, rotate so it sort of faces away, and place. Now, got to drag this out the same as we would with a room, so it covers all of it. Now, that's obviously not looking how we'd want it to look. So we're going to use this upper arrow here and drag that all the way down. Maybe to around, I don't know, maybe to around slightly higher than flat, just slightly, maybe around there. And then obviously these bits have little bits of wall in as well, so we use our eyedropper tool, click on our wallpaper we've used and just click on the roof, and then that will sort of do the two sides of that. Now, what we do need to do here is you see how this is sort of sliding off weirdly and this side isn't? So if you click on the roof, you've got these sort of big arrows and we've got these sort of small ones as well. These drags the roof design out and in and things like that, and it does do both sides. However, if you hold shift and you drag the side arrow in, it will only move that one side. And you'll see now that looks a lot more sort of normal. We're going to drag both sides in, but just in case you only wanted to drag in one side, but we're going to drag in both. That's our first bit of roof. Now we move around to our second bit of roof. We're actually going to use the same piece again. So half gabled roof, and you can see it's actually quite a bit bigger. So we want to turn it around the way we want it to face. So we're going to use our comma and full stop keys, and you can see it's sort of hanging over. So we use our big arrow, bring it back to the size of that piece of roof, and then drag this one out sideways, and then again use that top piece and drag it all the way down to the height that we'd want about here. What you can do is again just bring in both sides like that, copy the wallpaper onto the roof, and there we go. Okay, so that's those two bits of roof done. If you decide that it's sort of looking a bit tall, you can always bring it down a bit further if you want. That's what I'm going to do to this bit. And then we've got this one on the back to do. Now, what for this one we're going to do is we are going to use our gabled roof, and then again, same sort of concept. So we're going to put it on the back corner there, drag it to the size that we want, like so. Obviously, it's looking a little bit tall, so we're going to make it a lot smaller, maybe like that kind of look, and then eyedropper tool and then use the wallpaper again, and then we've got this small bit here that's actually very irritating. What we can do is actually we can use a half gabled roof again, use it that way, drag it to the size that we want, and then using this sort of upper arrow we sort of line it up with the roof as best as possible, and then it just sort of looks like an extra piece coming out there, and then again using the wallpaper and replacing it. Now, I don't like the colour of this roof, so we are going to change it. So on the roofs tool, see this sort of looks like a bit like a roof wallpaper. I'm going to click on that, roof patterns. All the roof patterns are entirely free. So we've got big glass ones. Obviously, you could use that for like a conservatory or something if you wanted to. We're going to just change it to a Happy Haunts shingle roof. Oh no, country carriage house roof. Something a bit, just sort of like that. You just got to click on all the roof pieces and it will paint them. And like I said, it's free, so it doesn't cost you any money to do that. Obviously, you've got lots of different roofs there, and each one has different colours as well. So you can change it to whatever colour you fancy. You want a pink roof, you can have a pink roof, So that's that. And then again, on this roofs piece, you see we've got this bit here, that's the roof trims. See we've got these white pieces. We can either take them away or paint them a different colour. So we're going to use a square roof trim. So we can either use black and make it all black like that, and that'll blend in, or we can use a white and just make our white pieces a little bit more pronounced, which is what we're going to do. So there we have that. We've sort of got a nearly fully furnished outside. Then we're going to go to floor patterns down here near where the wallpapers were. We're going to pick a sort of conservatory porch floor tile. Maybe the antique stone tile. Yes, there we go. I'm going to go with the antique stone tile from the stone section. Again, these are all sort of divided into what floorings you'd want. So wood, carpet, tile, etc., etc. We've even got some outdoor ones, metal ones, and things like that. But we're going to go for this wooden tile there. So that's that. So we've already got all the walls and the outside up, and it doesn't look like, your normal starter home. It looks a little bit more, less boxy. It's albeit very skinny from the side, but it's a starter home. We're starting out. Right, so let's pop a front door in. So we're going to click on doors and come back down using our page up, page down floor tools to the bottom floor again. We're going to pick a nice front door. What you want to do is I'm going to pick a door that's too wide, so you can either use a double door, or some of the doors actually are too wide and sort of sit in the middle. I actually really quite like that door, so we're going to use that one and place that there. Again, you've got the different swatches, so just find a door that sort of you prefer. Now for these ones, let's say I've placed that one and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I want a colour. Because it's like a furniture type piece, what you can do is you can go to our design tool on the toolbar, click on it, and it will bring up our swatches, and then we can sort of cycle through and see which one we like. I've picked the wooden one, although now that I've picked it, I kind of want the red one. So we're going to pick the red one instead. And then just make sure you click on your mouse tool again. So now we've got that. Then we're going to add some windows. So again, next to the door, we've got the windows. Pick a window you like. Again, these have got different heights as well. We're using the short ones because it's easier. I would go for whatever window you kind of fancy. I'm going to go for the Octopane. Again, these windows all have swatches, so you can either use red to match to the front door or just use the white windows, which I think I'm going to do. Pro tip here, do not use the same windows all the way around the house because it will look strange. Okay, so I'm going to use, I think, some of the windows with the shutters. So we're going to place one. You want to try and keep some of them in the middle. So this one's 4 wide, so I'm going to whack one in the middle there, and then it does overlap with that side print there, so I'm probably not going to put it there. Although I do really like it, so maybe I will. I don't know, I haven't decided. And then you just sort of like go around and sort of place windows where you think they would look nice. Now, another tip, if you hold down Alt on your keyboard, you can free sort of slide them up and down a window. You can't move them side to side like free, but you can, rather than it being in these 2 places there, you can slide it sort of to be as accurate as you want it to be. So there, now we've windowed now we've windowed our house. I'm actually going to change these 2 middle windows to not be ones with shutters, and I believe in both places, yeah, we've got a bathroom anyway, so we don't want a giant window. We're going to use, I think, maybe the Octopane that just doesn't have the shutters. I'm going to use like that. Then it changes it up a little bit. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. So now we've got a fully furnished outside house that doesn't look like a box, and it's got windows. Before we move inside, we're going to do a little bit of landscaping, so plants, pathways, things like that. Go to terrain tools over here. This is again a little pro tip. Instead of paying for outside slabs, you can actually, if it's going on the ground, you can just paint the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our stone and pavement bits. We're going to pick the 2-tone stone, which is actually the same one as there. Pick a square brush and drag this to be hard, and then that won't get you like feathered edges. You might want feathered edges for things like dirt, but not for this. So we're going to do that and just click and hold, and then that will place it like this. And then all of a sudden you've got a pathway. Nice and easy. Now we've got a letterbox here. You can pop that there wherever you want. If you don't like the look of that mailbox, you type in mailbox because it is American, text search for mailbox, and then it will bring up all the different mailboxes you can have. I am actually going to change it for this old country one because I love the old country one, but you pick whichever one you like. And then again, you can use that Alt key, and when you're placing items, it will actually just give you sort of free reign to place wherever you want rather than being stuck to the grid. So just hold that and pop it, wherever you fancy. And then you've got a mailbox. Click back onto build here, and that'll bring you back to this main page. We're going to click on the outdoor plants. We're going to add a couple of tiny trees. So I'm maybe going to use this majestic palm. Doesn't quite fit with the sort of vibe of the lot. It's very, holiday. Might use this. What's this? An American beech tree. This does look a bit American, doesn't it? This sort of style of house. So we're going to pop that over there. We're going to go back to the terrain tools, pick a circle brush, maybe a medium one, and bring the softness all the way over, sort of like that. Click on grass and flowers, maybe do or die, and just sort of lightly tap the mouse a few times to get that sort of look there. There is an eraser tool, so I'm going to use that. Use the smallest sort of brush type and just tap around the edges just to sort of roughen it up a little bit like that. Next, we're going to add a little planter. So back to fences. We're going to use this tiny short fence here, Smooth Keeper it's called. We're going to change the colour of it. I think I'm going to use a white one. And then obviously the draw tool. I'm going to go from right here at the bottom of the banister all the way across there, and then all the way back to the house like that. So you've got that area there. And then we're going to fill it in with this same dirt. So back to terrain tools, pick a slightly bigger brush, maybe a square one as well. Bring the hardness all the way up. Same thing, and we're going to fill in this little box like so. Okay, and you sort of rotate to check it's going around all the edges. And now you've sort of got this little plantery looking thing. back to outdoor plants, and down the side here we've got shrubs and we've got flowers. So we're going to go into shrubs first, and we're going to sort of pick a big bulbous bush or something quite tall to fill that in because we haven't got a window there. Pick whatever you like. I'm going to go for this unkempt shrubbery tall, and let's see, I don't know, maybe something like a lovely lavender bush like that. And again, with alt, you can free place these sort of however you like. Some plants will overlap with each other and some won't, so just sort of use your judgment. And we're just going to place a few little flower bushes and things and see how this looks. Okay, so that's the little plant sort of thing I've got on now. And now we've got a little planter there. So I think we're doing pretty good. So either you can copy that over that side or you can just leave that blank. I'm just going to leave it blank for now. And then we're going to jump inside to furnish. We haven't really got that much left in the way of money, but you can just sort of furnish as many things as you can. We're just going to add some doors in and put a couple of basic things in. So you basically, it's sort of really similar to what we've done outside. You're a pro now. So you basically just got to pick the door you like. I'm just going to pick this one. Pick the colour you like. I'm going to pick white ones. And just make sure you've got doors into every room. And then, yeah, you basically just furnish up. So again, using our wallpaper tool, we just sort of can paint the walls whatever colour we like. I'm going to go with... Let's see, might as well just, I'm going to go with just like your white, pure expressions, easiest thing to do. Again, make sure you click the by room and then it will paint the whole room for you. You won't have to go around doing it like that. Then in our bathrooms, I'm going to go to the tile, pick a tile I want to use. I'm going to use this one, we're going to use black and white one, and just pop it inside our two bathrooms like so. And then we're going to place a floor patterns. We're going to use, I think, wood, maybe this sort of lighter coloured rustic wood. If you click the G button on your keyboard, that'll get rid of the grid, and then you can sort of see what it all look like. So we're going to go upper floor, place it in there. Make sure you use your right key to rotate to help you see. And then for our bathrooms, we're going to use a tile. So I'll probably use maybe the same tile. We'll use this black sort of floor tile. Now see how I can't access it? We're going to use this button up here, which is walls up view, and that takes away the walls completely, has them sort of half up so you can see what you're doing, or puts them all the way up. So I'm going to have them half up. That's generally how I play in my game anyway, and just add these into our bathrooms. And then yeah, you just sort of got to furnish away. At the top of the stairs here, we've got this sort of like weird gap. We're actually going to use a half wall for this, so go up to our wall tool here, and on the side here we're going to click on half walls, and they are basically half walls, or shorter walls of different heights. So we're going to use this short one, click on the place half walls by drawing, and just place this sort of like this. Now I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's a bit short, maybe I'll use a slightly taller one, and then again replace with half walls sort of tool can be used there. And then that's the sort of you can use fences for that, but I like to use half walls just because I think they look a bit nicer. Then third tab down, half wall trims, that just changes the colour on top here. So we're going to change it to a slightly different wood colour like that. Yeah, I think that looks nice. And then eyedropper tool onto the wall, and then by room or individually we can make sure these are painted, and then that will just blend into, that's the wrong button, that'll just blend into our wall there. Okay, and then yeah, basically just furnish up to your heart's desire. So I'm going to furnish and meet back with you in a second. Oh, before we furnish, so we've got these tabs down the side here. You've got objects by room, which is what I tend to use, and objects by function. Now if you use objects by room, on here you've got all the different types of rooms you can have. So kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living room, dining room, study, kids room, and the outside. Now the reason I tend to use this is because it does just group things together. So I'll just click on the counters you would have in a kitchen and just click the counters I'd want to use. In the bedroom, it's already got the bed there, that kind of thing. If there's something in particular you want to find, but it's like a plant and you can't find it here, we're going to ignore that plant in the corner there, then you can click on objects by function, go to this sorter here, and it will come up with all the different types. So let's say I'm looking for a chessboard, I'll go to activities and skills, go to that first one there, and it will bring up like chessboards, the fitness stuff, whatever you would need. And also it's got miscellaneous, which is sort of your odd bits and bobs in each of those categories as well. So make sure you use those to furnish. So I'm going to use the Furnish my room tour, and then I'll meet back with you in a minute. Another tip, so if you're doing kitchen counters, down here you've got our auto counters area. If you turn that on, then where you have these two cabinets, they'll automatically make that corner. Now, if you don't want that to happen, then you can obviously just turn that off. And if it's turned off, then what you can do as well is go to where your colour swatches are, and you'll have a little spanner here, or cogs. Click that, and you'll be able to pick exactly which piece you want. So you can pick the corner piece if you want the corner piece. Another little pro tip that I need to show you, which is, I don't know if everyone already knows this, but you can scale items up and down, and it's not a cheat, it's just like you don't have to enable anything. So let's say I want to use like this rug, and it's like just a bit too big really for this like upstairs hallway. What I can do is use my square bracket keys on my keyboard, and just use the left one to make it smaller and the right one to make it bigger. So obviously you can make it like giant if you really wanted to, but obviously we don't want to. I'm just going to make it a touch smaller to sort of fit in my hallway upstairs, and then use the Alt key to sort of drag it exactly where I want it, and then I can just use like the design tool or whatever to change the pattern. Also, another pro tip, if anything's looking boring, just whack a load of plants in it. That always fixes the problem. Okay, and I think our house is done, with 250 simoleons left to spare. So let's take a little tour. So I've just sort of furnished it out. So downstairs, we've just sort of come in the front door. We've got our little dining room off to the side there, and a sort of like a little reading nook on this side. Remember, we didn't place a window on the outside here, so I sort of put a bookshelf in there to fill up that space. We've got our living room over here with our cute little penguin TV and a little fireplace, a rug. I've just changed up the wallpaper, bathroom, kitchen. I've just used a little sort of checkerboard tile and used a bit of different wallpaper again. Popping up to upstairs, we've got our hallway. Just put like a little side table in, put some plants and some candles on there, whack a plant, bit of, decoration. It's a bit mismatchy. Second bathroom and our bedroom up here. Got a little dresser and a mirror, because you have to have a dresser or a mirror to change your clothes, so just remember that. Make sure you put in lights in all the rooms. I always forget to put in lights in the rooms. And yeah, that's our very basic starter home build. I've sort of taught you as many sort of little tips and tricks as possible for this little bit. There are a couple of extra bits like move objects, cheats and things like that, but they don't always allow your sim to use all the items, and they're a bit more advanced, so maybe I'll do a second video using like all the different cheats you can do. But yeah, that's our house for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and that you actually sort of learned something, and yeah, and I hope that it was fun. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers!
Oh, this you crazy mother!